Okay, we'll go ahead and get started, and feel free to unmute yourself and jump in wherever you want. And thanks, you guys, for spending an hour with me this morning to talk about understanding and optimizing Social Security benefits. I'll introduce myself a little bit first. First of all, is there anybody on the call? I think you're all realtors. Is there anybody on the call who is not a realtor? I did make it available for you guys to invite your clients, your senior clients, but I'm not sure if there's anybody. Let's put it in the chat if you could, please, if you are not a realtor. Okay, I'm going to assume everybody's a realtor. All right, so I'll introduce myself first. I know most of you, but I'm going to try to introduce myself. What's going on here? Now my screen, it's not changing my screen. Give me just a minute. Technical difficulties. Hold on. Very strange. Hold on a second. I may have too much stuff opened up here. There we go. Okay, the first thing I wanted to introduce to you guys is this new branding that you're going to see. If you see it in your email or something, it is me. As you'll see here, as I finish introducing myself, I do multiple activities, all of them, or I should say the vast majority of it real estate related. And as time goes on, more and more retirement related. And real estate and retirement really tend to play a big part as well, particularly for me as I age and my clients have aged over time. But just in way of introducing, and all of these things are going to be kind of put under that new brand. But for now, so I have been operating as a mortgage broker for 30 plus years, since 2000, through this company, American Mortgage Management. I called it American Mortgage Management because I've always thought that as a lender, it's important to keep in mind that we are advising on the liability side of the balance sheet, not just trying to get a loan done, which obviously we are getting a loan done on time for you guys. But there's more to it than that, and having a lifetime relationship with my clients and really advising them. And about 10 years ago, I also hung my license with this company, C2 Financial. I am a real estate broker, so my regulatory body is the California Department of Real Estate, so I can have my license with more than one company. And these guys give me access to about 100 different lenders, and they have a very good reverse mortgage division. And so as I've concentrated more on the securities side of my business and retirement planning, the reverse mortgages have been an important part of that. In terms of my securities licensing, my first securities license prior to 2008 was it's called a Series 22. It was a license that allowed me to do real estate related activities. And now I use that still for real estate related activities, mostly tax deferral options. I am going to deliver multiple classes. I don't know how many of you are on with Danny Hara, but the things that I do are a lot of the same things that he was talking about. I am an exchange accommodator. I'm not. Somebody in an earlier class asked me if I was a registered exchange specialist. I am not, but I have registered exchange specialists on this staff, right? They stay at their desk and do that work. But we're an exchange accommodator. We do deferred sales trust, Delaware's tax rate trust, charitable remainder trust, lots of different tax-related work. I'm the treasurer this year of the Financial Planning Association of Silicon Valley and the incoming president, actually. I do have here's another brand that'll be under this new brand. It's my dedicated reverse mortgage brand or channel, I guess I should call it. I do have the Certified Reverse Mortgage Professional designation. That's the designation issued by NRMLA, National Reverse Mortgage Lenders Association. So finally, we get to what you guys wanted to talk about today. This designation, Registered Social Security Analyst, I earned this designation put out by the National Association of Registered Social Security Analysts. Tough to say that over and over. And it was created really to fill a niche in the financial planning community. The target market for this organization is the financial planning community and also tax preparation community, because the software that the planners use, and there's multiple companies, there's eMoney, Money Guide Pro, Right Capital, there's this group of software providers that financial planners generally use to advise their clients. None of them did a very good job with the Social Security aspect of financial planning. Also, the educational component, whether it's the certified financial planner, chartered financial consultant, RICP, was registered in, retirement income certified professional. Those education components were also good, but not as inclusive as what this designation focuses on. So they've built this software roadmap. And by the way, I will be happy to do this full analysis. There's a 30+ page analysis that comes out from this software if you want to. And financial planners generally charge $500 to $1,000 or so to produce one of these reports. And I will do that for you and your clients for free. So here's our agenda. I'll tell you what a RSSA is, why Social Security is so important, some basic Social Security facts, and then filing factors, questions and answers, and I have a couple of gifts for you. So a registered Social Security analyst has studied the complex laws and rules of Social Security and passed their rigorous examination. And that's basically that. And why Social Security is important. Start with a few facts. First of all, you may have seen this on your paycheck stub, OASDI, right? It's more than just a retirement program. It is for, you're going to hear the term worker throughout this. Worker is the person who's actually paying into the Social Security program and receiving benefits. So it's for that person's old age, for his or her survivors, and there's a disability component too. So it's really a more full-featured insurance program than most people understand. It provides a guaranteed progressive benefit, right? It's guaranteed in the sense that it's backed by the United States government. You may have heard the term risk-free rate, right? Risk-free rate means the safest investment you could possibly make is buying treasury bonds, for example, right, are issued by the United States government. I know there's a lot of talk out there and fear that Social Security is going to go away in some way. And that really causes people to make mistakes with their Social Security elections. And so, but as much as anything can be guaranteed in life, this is guaranteed benefits for the person who put into it. And it's a progressive benefit because as you get older, it gets better. Not once you start taking your benefits, that then is locked in. But other than the cost of living increases that do happen as you get older. And also the more you pay into it, you earn more, right? This says it provides a foundation of retirement protection, really, in a lot of senses, and from a lot of advisors, they say it's the foundation. The next slide, you'll see it called cornerstone, but it counts cornerstone or foundation of making sure that you can make it through life and not live under an overpass, basically. Many rely on it for a majority of their retirement income. Back to that same overpass comment that I may or may not have should have made. Many rely on it not just for the majority, but for their sole source of income in retirement. And so cornerstone of retirement planning. Planning is set up because when we're talking to people about Social Security, it's usually part of the overall retirement plan. And one thing that people don't realize is how powerful it is, how much money people save in their 401ks and so forth. Well, the fact that you put this money in here is really quite important and more of a benefit than a lot of people realize. This page is called a heat map, and it's one of the pages from our report that we produced through this software. This couple, we have Tim and Christy, shows their ages. This says that if Tim elected at 69 and Christy elected at 70, this would maximize their lifetime income. We also have the heat maps that show annual and monthly income. And sometimes it's advantageous to choose a lower lifetime income in order to have a higher monthly income for the survivor. So, problems you face figuring it out. 2,728 rules surround Social Security. Does that sound like a government program? And thousands of claiming strategies, because there's so many combinations and so many critical issues that face individuals, and there's just a lot of combinations. Many are uneducated, which is why 96% of claimants don't optimize. So that's really kind of sad. Only 4% of people get all of the money out that they should have or could have. And it's not just because they died younger. It's because they just didn't realize that there were benefits, or if they had made different decisions, they could have increased their benefits. Now, it is a term, there is what's called a risk pool. I don't know if you've heard that term, but life insurance, annuities, and Social Security are all operated on the basis of risk pooling. Some people are going to live longer, and some people are going to live shorter lives, and the people who live longer are benefiting from the extra money that went into the system that the people who live shorter lives did not use that money. So another problem is there are few reliable resources for expert Social Security help, which is one reason this organization was created. The Social Security Administration will talk to you. You can call them there, but they are barred legally from providing advice. They can give you information, but they're often just reading from a prompt. You never know who you're going to get. I have called them several times myself, and it really varies. And there's only 31% of retirees rely on advice from a financial advisor. So that leaves so many people just really not sure how to make the best Social Security choices, and I'm here to help. So optimizing your Social Security and retirement strategy is taking a holistic approach and understanding your specific circumstances and how you can find a plan that matches your retirement goals. One of the gifts I was talking about at the end of this, I'm going to show you something called RISA, Retirement Income Style Awareness. There's a lot of different ways to get through retirement. And some people want to take more risks, some people want less risks. But in retirement, and there's a huge shift that happens at retirement. It's a mental shift really from asset accumulation to asset distribution. Now, particularly us in the real estate community, really continue to accumulate assets even when we're no longer doing our day-to-day jobs. But really that mental shift, at some point, you will just be living off of your assets. But we have fixed expenses and variable expenses, right? A lot of stuff we just can't get away from. But the idea is to get away from these, reduce your fixed expenses as much as possible so that you have more money for your variable expenses, the things that you really want to do. You really want to get rid of any other debt other than your mortgage, right? And again, because particularly in California, when people are retiring, very often their largest asset, single asset, is their home equity. and they have a 401k, an IRA, maybe if they're really lucky, they might have a actual pension plan. But a lot of people have a mortgage, and when we put in the financial planning software, the trajectory of their assets, if they're continuing to pay a mortgage, particularly if it's a 401k or IRA or a tax-deferred account, they have to take out the amount to pay the mortgage plus the amount to pay the tax that they took out of there. And if you put that in the financial planning software, you will see that it's a lot better to get rid of that mortgage. And one of the ways to do that is with the reverse mortgage. And that is, there's other benefits to that as well. But this is not a reverse mortgage class. I am going to be doing reverse mortgage classes for purchases, but so I won't talk about that anymore today. But certainly taxes we can't get away from. Another thing that I do with my tax deferral stuff is to minimize that and defer that. They say the tax that you pay in the future is a lot better than paying tax now. Of course, you will have various insurances. It's important to look at those things and decide what's most important for you. And of course, you're going to have something to eat and keep warm and cool. So out of your assets, this is, the majority of what most people have for assets. We in the real estate investment community really we have a high concentration of real estate equity, hopefully, by the time we retire. And then there's multiple ways to use that equity. Some basics of Social Security. There's a lot of acronyms and terms. FRA, full retirement age. PIA, primary insurance amount. DRC, delayed retirement credits. COLA, you've all heard of that, cost of living adjustments. AIM, average index monthly earnings, and we'll talk about each of those. Full retirement age, that's when you receive your PIA, your primary insurance amount. You can start your benefits earlier, as early as 62. The full retirement age has grown a little bit as time has gone on. And for anybody born 1960 or later, it's 67 for the time being. As longevities continue to increase and they're trying to solve issues in the Social Security system, that may continue to go up. But the great thing is that by delaying it, you earn more money. You may see this term unreduced benefit. All it means is the amount that you would get at your full retirement age, which is the same thing as primary insurance amount. One thing that's nice about when you reach the full retirement age, there's no more earnings limit. We'll talk more about that in a slide coming up here about what that is. Basically, if you're earning a lot of money, you shouldn't be collecting Social Security because they're just going to hold it back from you. You will get it in the future, but over a period of 20 years. You can get a 6-month retro payment once you reach full retirement age. And let's just say that you were born in 1957, you wait till 67 to start taking your benefits, but then you say, dang, I should have started earlier. They'll give you up to 6 months worth of retro payments. You can also suspend it. If you started earlier, you can suspend it and then hold off till you're 70, and then your payment will be higher. So some of these terms that we just talked about, PIA, I've explained that, delayed retirement credit. You do get 8% compounded per year from your full retirement age. So, you may have a month. There may be, for example, if you're 1957, you have 3.5 years, right? So you get 42 months at 0.667 per month, right? So you do get it all. Cost of living adjustments, they're just baked in for future earners as well. One thing that people often make a mistake, they say, oh, there's a COLA, we got this big COLA last year. And wow, I better start taking my Social Security now. No, you don't have to. You will get it anyway. It's just baked in. For 2024, it's at 3.2%. So we're happy that inflation is abating, right? Interest rates will be coming down. Everybody will be doing better. other than, this is one time when inflation is good, it increases it's a small benefit, put it that way. It's not good because you're paying more for everything, but you do get this cost of living increase. Here is, this is straight from the Social Security website. The COLA is based on the percentage increase in the consumer price index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, CPIW. There's various forms of CPI. From the third quarter of the last year, a COLA is determined to the third quarter of the current year. If there is no increase, there can be no COLA. The reason I'm pointing this out is because I just heard a politician the other day say that, I didn't intend to say which politician it is, but she said that one of the changes that she would like to make to the Social Security system for the future is to have, rather than a COLA, replace it with an inflation index adjustment. This is an inflation index adjustment, so I don't know what she was talking about. There's different types of retirement benefits, really meaning who's going to receive the benefits, right? So for the worker, your own earnings, that's that's your retirement benefits, but your spouse can also earn benefits on your record, even if that spouse has never paid into the Social Security system. Survivors also can earn off of your record, and it can be paid to widowers, and dependents of eligible workers. And then there's dependent benefits for, this is one area where a lot of people leave money on the table. They do not know that an adopted stepchild or dependent grandchild can earn money off of your earnings record. So here's how we get to the amount you're going to get every month. Earnings before age 59 are indexed for inflation. So this is an individual's earnings history. If I do an analysis for you, I'm going to ask you to get me an XML file from the Social Security Administration. We put that in the software, and it'll show all your earnings from back when you first began paying into the system. This individual at 16 in 1978 earned $2,545. But as it's indexed in the system to help determine how much you're going to receive monthly, they're crediting $15,381. But if you notice over here, highest 35 years of index earnings, that's blank. Now we go out to 2013. This person is 51 now, earned $113,700. The index amount is $161,591. And so this is one of his highest, or her highest, 35 years of indexed earnings. So it will be counted. But this is important to know because some people may not have 35 years. They may have some goose eggs, and you can always keep working, and every year you have some money that goes in there. It may increase. Even if you don't have just goose eggs, your newer numbers, if they're larger, it may increase your Social Security earnings. So this is how we get to the average index monthly earnings, AIM, right? So in this situation, we have a 67-year-old. The sum of the 35 years of index earnings is almost $5 million. It's 420 months. You divide this by 420, you get the average index monthly earnings. You don't get that whole amount though. Unfortunately, they make it more complicated. There's a bin point breakdown, and this changes every year. This is for 2023. So if, let's say, your AIM was exactly $1,024, you would get 90% of that, and this would be your Social Security monthly payment. If you earn more than that, between 1,025 and 6172, right? Do the math. 6172 minus 1,024, you get this number. Now you only get 32% of that, so that's 1,647. So if you earn even more than that, every dollar you earn after that, you only get, well, I shouldn't say earn, every dollar that's calculated in your AIM, you get 15% of that. So in this case, this person was going to get $3,354. And that's how they calculate it. Pretty simple, right? Don't forget, you guys can ask me questions. I see you're all muted, so if anything comes up, just let me know. Social Security and reduction credits, right? So this is if you start early or if you wait till 70. Now you have to have at least 40 quarters. That's 10 years total, but they can be spread around. You have to be at least 62, 60 for survivors. The benefit amount, again, that's the PIA paid at FRA, and it increases at 8% up to age 70, and that is compounded. So if you look at this person's line from the heat map, if this person were to start collecting at 62, they would only receive $2,611 per month. If they went to their full retirement age, which was 67, they would get $3,708 per month. If they waited till they're 70, they would get $4,598 per month. Spousal benefits are a little bit different. You can collect either your own benefit or your spousal benefit, not both. But they can be collected once both spouses have been collecting. So if one wants to collect and the other doesn't, you have to take yours. You can't collect on your spousal benefit. And you would choose whichever one is higher. So if you're married for at least 10 years, right? This is for ex-spouses, right? You have to have been married for 10 years. They're very critical about these numbers, all the numbers that I show you in here. You know, it's not 11 years and 9 years and 11 months. It has to be 10 years. You and your ex-spouse have to both be at least 62 years old, and you have to be single. There's another rule about how long you've been divorced, but that gets a little bit more complicated. And the benefit amount, it's equal to 50% of your spouse's primary insurance amount, and benefits are reduced between the ages of 62 and the full retirement age. And here's the kicker. They do not increase after the full retirement age. So if you're claiming on your spouse's record, you don't get increases after your full retirement age. Survivor benefits get more complicated. There's a base amount, like the primary insurance amount or PR, and so it's the same thing. Primary insurance amount is determined by the age of claim, the same way as the other benefits. You'll see that as a survivor, if you claim younger, you get less. But then again, after you get to full retirement age, it doesn't change. A very strange oddity is the survivor full retirement age is 4 months less than the normal for full retirement age. You have to have been married for at least 9 months, and another critical number. You can collect as young as 60, as you see up here, and as young as 50 if you're disabled. And any age, if you're caring for a child under 16, and any age, if you're caring for an adult disabled child. These are, again, survivor benefits are places within the system where people leave a lot of money on the table. Now it gets even more complicated. Dependent benefits. Look on the left side here first. Dependent benefit key takeaways. 50% of primary insurance amount while parent alive. So let's say somebody they want to start taking their benefit at 62. Their primary insurance amount doesn't come along until, let's say, 67. Their dependent can start taking 50% of it. Even though the parent is getting less, the child can get the primary insurance amount, 50% of that, right? So they get more, really, than what the parent would get. And 75% if the parent is deceased, so it becomes really a survivor benefit. It is limited by the family maximum benefit, which is another calculation. Whatever the amount is, has to be divided between all of the dependents. So this dependent benefit lasts till they're 18 or 19 if they're still in high school. You may talk to your child about flunking a grade. And disabled child, there is no age limit if the disability happened before they were 22. And the spouse can also receive a benefit for not receiving other benefits. Somebody have a question? I just heard a noise there.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Sorry? Okay. Anyway, here's something really interesting. Let's say you're 62 and you have a spouse that's much younger than you, and you have a child at 18. You may start taking your Social Security at 62. You're going to get 50% of your PIA for your child. You will get 50% for your spouse who is not collecting her or his own Social Security now. So here you are getting the full primary insurance amount plus your benefit that you've been taking or you started at 62. This is another, these odd little situations like this are where people leave a lot of money on the table at this Social Security. So
Das
this
normal, dass
is,
ich 1 Zentimeter habe.
say that one more time. I guess he was. So anyway, all right, non-covered pension. There's two provisions here to reduce Social Security benefits when somebody gets what's called a non-covered pension. Non-covered pensions, think STRS, PERS, and some other pension plans where they are not paying into Social Security. So if you, the worker, has one of those, and maybe you also worked somewhat for some other job where you were paying into Social Security, it will be reduced. It's a complicated calculation. I'm not going to go into it here, but the software will do it. And that will, so your Social Security benefits will be reduced because of having this non-covered pension. For the spouse, it's called the government pension offset. Now, the spouse may have had a full career of paying into Social Security. That is not touched with this, but any spousal or survivor benefits are touched by this issue of the worker or the person who has the non-covered pension. Okay, earnings test. While collecting while working, right? Basically, what they're trying to say is, if you can earn good money, why don't you just do that now and wait and not claim Social Security yet? One key is if they are holding back, they're not really not paying you that, they're holding your benefits back, and you will receive them once you reach full retirement age, but it's paid out over a 20-year schedule, so you may or may not receive it all back. So this is a very important thing to think about while if you're thinking of collecting Social Security while you're still working. And here's the way it works. $1 for every $2 earned above this number in all the years before reaching full retirement age. So, for example, I'll use round numbers. Let's call this 20,000. Let's say you earn 100,000. So $2 every $2. So that's 40,000. So they're basically going to reduce your benefits by $40,000. And then for the year where you will reach for full retirement age, it's monthly, but it's a different calculation. But the income that does count is only your employment income or net income for self-employment. None of these types of income will count in that. So you can continue to get rental income or that type of income, but working income will be reduced. And maybe by the time you're 62 or in retirement age and you have all your rental income coming in, you're fine. All right, so how is your tax actually derived? How much tax do you pay on Social Security? You're going to pay about 40% of people do pay tax on their Social Security benefits. As you may expect, it is pretty complicated. There's some terms to remember here. Combined income is important, and thresholds. There's a first threshold and a second threshold. And if you're single, the thresholds are 25,000 and 34,000, meaning that if less than 25,000, you're not going to pay income tax on that. And then in this range, you'll pay up to, here's another important term to remember here, may have to pay income tax on up to 50% of your earnings. And those numbers go up a little bit if you're married. Oh, more than this second threshold, now you have to pay tax on 85% of the benefits. So they're not taking 85% away, but you have to pay tax on that. Okay, and the numbers just go up a little bit for a joint return. So what is combined income? It's your adjusted gross income. Now remember, in that previous slide, we talked about a lot of these types of income not counting. Now, when they actually go to calculate your tax, all of your income counts, including non-taxable interest. But they only count half of your Social Security benefits. So you go through this calculation, and now you've arrived at your combined income. So how do you actually figure out what you actually will be taxed on? Once you get the combined income, now there's another 3-part test, and it's the lowest of these 3 tests. So test number 1, just 85% of your Social Security benefits, and then you would achieve a number. Test number 2, 50% of your benefits plus 85% of combined income over the second threshold. Remember, first threshold and second threshold. That's test number 2. You would get a number out here. Test number 3, 50% of combined income over the first threshold plus 35% of combined income over the second threshold. So now you'll have 3 numbers out here, and the lower of those numbers is the number that is subject to taxation, right? And that is how it works. If you want to have the Social Security Administration withhold from your Social Security payments so that you don't end up having a tax bill at the end of the year, you can do that, but it's voluntary. You have to file this form, and they will withhold taxes from your Social Security payments. And that's really it. Now, first of all, any questions? No questions, I take it, huh? All right. So now here are the gifts that I mentioned. I will put in the chat the actual links, but this is the roadmap report, right? Remember, it's a 30-page plus report. This QR code link will take you there, so you can. It'll basically put it in my system, and then it'll notify me, and we can do the report for you. Another gift, this is called RISA, Retirement Income Style Awareness. You can pay $30 for this if you want. You can go directly to their site and leave me out of the picture, and you can do this, but I have an account with them, and I can do it for you. You can't really see this, but people have very different ideas of how they want to handle the retirement. There is some people that really want to take a lot of risks, and some people that want to take hardly any risks. And then so the products and the way that you handle your retirement and your Social Security elections play into your feelings about the way you want to retire. And again, the QR code will take you to my site for that, and we can do that. I'll do that for you for free. Third thing is remember earlier I told you that financial planners use various softwares, right? The 3 biggest ones in the market are eMoney, Money Guide Pro, and Right Capital. This is the one that I believe is like the, I don't know, Mercedes-Benz of financial planning software. I pay over $5,000 a year to have access to this software. I can allow you to go in and put all of your information, as much as you would like, in the software. And whether you're younger or older, if you go in younger, it can be, just kind of help you to plan and see where you are in terms of your retirement plan, or where also there's other goals, especially if you're younger. There's, education goals and so forth. All of that can go in here, and I'm not going to charge you for it. It's just, I'll give you access to it. You create your own site within my software, and but I don't have a link for that for you. You have to let me know you want to do this, and we'll set that up together. And that is it. And how are we for time, Abigail? Abigail's still there?
Yes. We still have 20.
Okay. So, either this was so boring I put you all to sleep, or I've answered all your questions. I did a really good job, or it's just boring. So we don't have to stay on for the full hour. Let me know. If I don't receive any questions, I will just end the session. All right. Thank you all. I appreciate you spending your time with me. I hope you learned something. Take care.
Thanks, Carrie. Carrie, it's not boring. It's just a lot of information. I'm sure I'm going to email you and ask you about this because it's, you know, it's useful for everybody, especially for our senior clients.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and by the way, yeah, keep watching for more classes. Really, I'm really interested in working with you guys on your senior clients who have, because they have a lot of equity, and they have you know, there's a lot of options for them. You know, there's of course there's first-time home buyers, but for your senior clients, they can either move up, move down. They often want to take money out for their kids. You know, maybe helping them to buy a house. That's another big use of reverse mortgages. A lot of times people want to do that. And of course, there's the whole 1031 exchange stuff. So I will be doing classes on 1031 exchanges, specifically any topic that you guys want me to do a class on. I'm happy to look at that also.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. You guys have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.